This is your tune. This is your pre-tune. Right, talk to me about when you were 16 years old and stepping on that platform and it being your like peakest moments. It is one of your peakest moments, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it was kind of like the start of like actually making it. I think, you know, like your first international caller on the biggest stage is like a moment that you can only kind of dream of until it actually happens. So at 16 I was very self-conscious, very unconfident, very aware of everyone else's opinions of me.
Wow.
And 16 was the time that kind of my body image was put into question, and like a lot of things were kind of questioned around just my gymnastics, or not just my gymnastics was in question. And I found that a really tricky time, and it was a world championships year, and usually like if you're 16 you don't really get the call up because you're like inexperienced and too young to kind of put your best foot forward for the team.
So you was going through all of that, but yet this was your peakest moment.
It was like the moment that I kind of arrived, I think, in the British team. So it was the year before the 2012 Olympics.
Okay.
And they wanted to submit a team to the World Championships, and I was 16, literally my first senior year.
Wow.
And my coach had kind of said to me, you know, you're not going to make the World Championships team, you're too young, like you've got no experience behind you, like just do the trials and you know, just for experience, get on the floor. And I was like, okay then. And obviously, as we all do, I tried really hard, competed as best as I possibly could, and at that time, it's not like this now, but during that time you'd finish the competition and you'd get your scores like immediately, and you'd get your ranking immediately, and you'd get your selection like immediately. Okay. Now they wait like 4, 5, 6 weeks to make the announcement or to tell you how you've done. But at the time it was literally on the day, and I remember the last selection was in my home gym, so where I trained, and that meant that like everyone was there for the selection, and the owner or the head of the program in Birmingham was there, and my parents and everything. And
what was going through your mind then, despite everything that you was going through as a young girl?
I think my expectation of myself at that time was probably not as high pressured as it was as I moved through my career. Because really I'd been set up to think that, you know, it weren't going to be a selection. Like I was 16 and I was just doing it. Which probably helped me a lot more, to be honest with you, because I was a performer that put so much self pressure on myself. And so I just went through the competition, remembered it was a pretty good one, or I remember it was a pretty good one, like navigated the competition quite cleanly. And then at the end they kind of line you up in like a line and they give you like that feedback, and then they give you like your scores and like the selection. And I actually was announced to be on the World Championships team.
Oh, wow, amazing. And
I literally could not believe it. And I remember I ran up to the head of the gym, and he just like, I like jumped and like he like spun me around, and it was like a moment of like pure elation.
Wow. So like, what do you think worked for you then when you were 16 compared to like now? Like, what do you think worked then? Can you remember?
I think that it is, I've always been in a place where I'm proving people wrong. And like my personal coach at that time had said, like, you know, it's just not going to be a thing, you're not going to make it. And I kind of thought, oh well, watch me. Like, watch me, I'm gonna try, like I'm not going out without a fight kind of thing, just watch me do my best, and let's just let the gymnastics do the talking. And again, going back to that pressure, because it was not an expectation from anybody that I was in my first senior year going to go to the World Championships and compete for Great Britain, because I hadn't been selected for any like World Cups or any major champs before that. Like I was literally kind of going into the World Championships very, very blind to the scene of what world-class gymnastics looks like. That was super scary, by the way. Like, that was a lot to handle when I was out there, because I also was sent without a coach, so the other two members of the team had their personal coaches there, but I didn't, so it was a lot to deal with when I was out there.
Do you know what I'm hearing though? I think as you get older you get more experiences, don't you, and experiences build a lot more expectations and pressure. Whereas when you're 16 you probably don't realise the pressure as much.
And I think it's like maturity as well. Like, when you're 16 you don't realise just exactly what's going on. I think you don't appreciate it, but as you get more mature you can like draw on life experiences to kind of keep you going, or keep you grounded, or keep you reacting to the situations a little bit more, I don't know, positively. Whereas when I was 16 I was just doing it.
What would you say to your 16-year-old self now?
Don't do it.
Pin it.
Quit now. No, I'm joking. I'd just say like, listen, it's going to be so hard, and there's going to be some moments where you don't think you can do it anymore, but you can. And every moment in your journey, good, bad, ugly, has a really big part to play with the gymnast you're going to become, and what you're going to do, not just on the competition carpet but in your wider business life, and what your purpose will be when competition season finishes and you step into a new chapter. It will always include everything that you've learned along the way, and I guess your story, no matter how hard it was, will be kind of the survival guide for someone else's. So stick at it, girl.
Yeah, I like that. To be honest, I work with a lot of young ones in their late teens more than anything else, and I personally think that it's so important and really pivotal to have the right direction when you're young and right people around you.
Yeah, do you know what? That would 100% be something that I would say to my 16. Actually, you're so right. I would say ditch the team, go and find yourself someone who's like, or a few mentors, not just someone, like a whole team of people that have got your absolute best interest at heart, and that are going to be there through thick and thin, no matter what happens, and they're going to have your back till
100%
the day it's over, and they will fight like it's their own kind of career. Like, go and find your tribe, because that is definitely not something that I had.
Yeah, I agree with that one, because I think when you're young you see, like, you see the status of things, you see success around you so quickly, and you tend to have this urge to go and choose that quick and quickly, but actually I know that you had the pressure of the sport career being short, but it's actually thinking, well, how can I make it long enough to survive in the sport, and to do that is taking great decisions.
And I think, like, I'm so loyal, so I think kind of getting a new coaching team or new mentors was never something that crossed my mind, but how it played out, it really should have, because they weren't the right people, and really made my career difficult. And I think if I'd have realised that earlier, it would have really helped me. Because I still think I'm dealing with a lot of things that happened when I was like 13, 14, 15, 16 and so on, because those are like your formative years. So I think
you're still unpacking, aren't you? You're still healing from that, aren't you?
It was terrible.
Well, thanks for sharing that, Mimi.
That's all right. Thanks for having me. Thanks for driving me around.